Good afternoon and happy Thursday. Nathan Zegura along with Gibbe Bo Bishop en route to lovely Charleston,
Is everything
South
on?
Carolina.
Is everything on time?
No, already delayed. He's furious.
Was it a direct?
I believe so. Yes. He's
That's,
not pleased. I got a text I received already. Flight delayed. Beep. Always beep. 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 So not pleased. Not a happy.
Oh no!
Not a happy camper.
How long is the delay?
I don't know. Let's see. I'll ask him. Beep thing. Beep. Beep. He just sent me another one literally right now.
Oh no, that sucks.
That's terrible.
Because it's not like you're there for. Not
He's
that
going to get there in time for the maybe get your hotel by the time you do that. Maybe a happy hour and a dinner today.
Yeah,
you want to get in.
Yeah, it's not like you're there for a week where it's like, okay, one day got screwed up, fine. Like you essentially have 2 full days.
Yeah,
because you're flying back Sunday, you're flying out today, but today would have put you in by 3:00.
Oh, so it's not direct. They're going through D.C. And he said right now.
Are they in D.C.
right now? If it takes
now?
off when they've said it was delayed, and as you know, flights often get delayed and then delayed. No, they'll have 10 minutes to make the connection in D.C.
Yeesh. You want to tell him, or do you want me to tell him?
No, I'm not telling him.
Yeah.
Listen, I told him, I said, you might be eating fine food at midnight like I did when I went to New York when our 1-hour flight, we would have gotten there faster driving.
Yes.
Oh, man.
That happened. My brother-in-law was just coming back from a business trip in London, and they landed, and they were stuck in D.C. for 10 hours. I'm like, dude, rent a car, drive home.
Yeah.
It would have been quicker.
Oh, boy.
But
there's nothing worse than that, too. There's one thing about, so, by the way, as you know, the air travel industry right now, it's just in a tough spot. They're making money hand over fist.
And they
Prices
do not
are higher.
care about
They don't care
customer
about. No,
service.
it's over. The customer service is dead. It's over.
Yeah.
There were days where it was like, oh, we'll even put you onto this other airline, and we'll make sure you get there.
No,
and we care.
none of that.
No care. They don't care anymore, and that's fine. But if you're going to delay me somewhere, always delay me home. Don't be delaying me on the way there. Like when I went to Arizona for the golf trip earlier this year,
yeah.
I got delayed. I had to sit in the Phoenix airport for 4 hours. It's unbelievable how expensive airport food is, but nonetheless, you did that, and then I got home, and eventually I made it. That was fine. But in the meantime, when you're going, you got all the excitement. You're all ready to go. You want to just go. You want to go. Don't delay the outbound. There's too much joy in the outbound. Nobody actually wants to come home. So if you're going to delay people, delay them coming back.
I would agree with that. Man, that sucks. Because again, it's a long weekend. It's not you're not getting wild and crazy and
yes.
being there for 7 to 10 days. There's a quick. I mean, it's a quick trip.
Yep. No, you want to maximize it. So we'll all hope and send the good vibes out there to Bo as he tries to make his way on vacation. Yeah, he deserves vacation. He's got the kids are being looked after. It's going to be great. He's leaving a victor again. He defeated Man City last night. Another big win as Juve, which was good for him, and now we'll see what happens. So good. Godspeed to you, Bo Bishop. Godspeed as you make your way down there. All right, so Gibbe and I are here today, as you know. Not a whole lot going on around the National Football League.
We are in the secret confines. Tomorrow we're out in public.
Yeah, tomorrow what about if you look at the forecast?
I don't know. Where's Fishman?
It's 85% rain. It's going to be raining. So then what happens?
I don't know. Are we under a tent? I don't really have an answer for you on that. Hey, Kev, you're running the board back there. What's the rain plan for the ESPN Cleveland block party? We're supposed to be on the east bank of the flats, living our best life.
Yes.
That sucks. I like a challenge. I don't know where we're parking. We don't have any information. We got nothing, Fish.
But that's okay. But if we're there,
waiting on a text,
there won't be anybody there. Now, there's nobody here at the undisclosed location except us anyway, so I guess it would be the same in that regard.
There's no one at the undisclosed location. There's no one in the on campus.
No, there's nobody here.
There's nothing.
There is nobody here. Coming up on today's show for you, we have Browns Training Camp 2023 has been announced. We'll give you those official dates in just a second. We're going to hear Joel Bitonio at the podium as well. We're going to be joined by Jon Machota.
Going with that. I'm working on a
give me a real, or a Machota. I'm going to call him Machota because he's a Joe Machota.
I don't think we want to do that.
I think he's Jon Machota. Talk Cowboys as part of our off-season tour. And then this is what I would like to do. I don't know about you, but this is what I would like to do.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of the phones. I'm not afraid of talking to the people a little bit. Let's give them a little, this time of year, let's give them what do you guys want to talk about? Browns questions, we can certainly do that. We can take a look at this roster as this week goes on. And I imagine tomorrow when we're down there, we'll probably have to get a little more, Brownsy football-y, and we'll do some of that.
We can. Mr. Trotter's going to join us. I think Mr. Cherry will join us as well.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
So, but, we're going to have some fun.
It's going to be great.
Cocktails. I don't know.
I'm going to be getting ready, dude. I got tomorrow's a big night. I should bring I know
that's right.
The great Devon Dudley is in town. Remember the Dudley boys?
Yeah.
Devon's going to be at the show at Bow Down at the Temple Live Asylum. Tickets
by.
Still available. So check it out. Yeah, well maybe we'll tell him to get the tables. Devon, get the tables. All right, Browns Training Camp 2023 has been announced. The 2023 Cleveland Browns Training Camp at Cross Country Mortgage Campus in Berea presents 8 free open practices for fans. All sessions available to fans beginning on Tuesday, August 1st. Will start at approximately 2 p.m. Eastern with gates opening 1 hour beforehand. So it'll be just like last year where we will be able to give you kind of an hour live on Browns Daily of what's going on at training camp. Tickets will be available to the public on Thursday, July 13th. That's Thursday, July 13th at 10 a.m. Eastern. Browns season ticket members will once again receive a special 48-hour window to reserve their tickets to training camp practice starting on Tuesday, July the 11th. Each account can register for up to 4 tickets to an individual session. Similar to past training camps and home games at Cleveland Browns Stadium, printed tickets will not be available this year. The dates are Tuesday, August the 1st, 2 o'clock. Sunday, August the 6th, 2 o'clock. Monday, August the 7th, 2 o'clock. Wednesday, August the 9th, 2 o'clock. Sunday, August 20th, 2 o'clock. Tuesday, August the 22nd, 1:25 p.m. Wednesday, August 23rd, 1:25 p.m. And then the finale, Thursday, August the 24th, 11:30 a.m. So you're going to get 4 of them in that final week. And then 4 kind of at the beginning because that middle week, if I'm doing the timing right in my mind, that middle week we are going to Philadelphia.
Yes, exactly. Now, what I think is cool about this, normally the public is not in and able to watch practice this late in the preseason and training camp.
Yeah, that's leading up to the final preseason game against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Normally, that's dress rehearsal week. Yep. And training camp's over. The media can still watch, but the fans are out. Now with us being in Philly for a week,
right,
the opportunity has come, and the fans are going to get 4 practices to really see what's happening. Because by that point, we will have been in camp for a month. I mean, those I would think were going to be some primo practices to want to be at.
Yeah, they'll be fun, and I think that'll be where you're really going to kind of get to see plan is yet, which I think is going to be a very interesting thing. What is the plan going to be like for our starters then? So that could be some of the real good work there going forward. This year, again, if they weren't spending that week in Philly, yes, the Browns would have had probably 11 or 12 like last year. It's unfortunate. You got 4 the first week, 4 the third week, but that second week were gone. And that's the difference in why there's only 8 dates this year. So I know people are bummed about that, but that's why there's only the 8 dates, and the Browns certainly will, I think, get back to a more normal next year, especially if they host joint practices, because that was last year. That was so fun when Philly came to town, and that also kind of let us know where everything was, and I think spurred a lot of the moves that you've seen from the Cleveland Browns this offseason in terms of getting bigger and more physical, which they certainly have done, and I think that's been a very, very exciting thing. So we will open the phones. We can also get mailbag questions in. You can tweet us your questions at Browns_Daily.
We could go through mailbag questions as we go through the show, too.
Yeah, we do mailbags throughout the show, so just get them to us. You got topics? If there's anything you want to talk about today, Anything Browns related, anything not Browns. Like, there's a beaver. Give it.
Is it a beaver or is it a
It has a tail like a beaver.
Hold on.
Give me. What? At the undisclosed location, we're under attack by a giant animal.
Where?
Right on the look straight out there. What do you mean? Look right at that house. It's eating a plant right now. Look where the walkway is to that house. The brown thing that's moving and eating. It's not moving right now. There he is. Look, he's going now.
That's a groundhog. You don't want those.
How does he have a tail?
Your foundation.
How does he have a tail? I thought groundhog. Do they have tails?
Yeah, I think so.
Look at him go, Gibby. He's huge.
Yeah, those are fatties.
He's about to walk into the bushes. He's right in front of the bricks. No, his tail just went. He's gone.
Yeah,
man.
I've got traps for those.
Alert the authorities. Alert the undisclosed location authorities.
I'm happy to. I can trap it for you.
That thing was giant. He was about 4 feet long.
There's a few ways to deal with him.
Yeah, but he was like a German shepherd.
The official animal warden of the show, D'Souza, says send a pig. He makes it sound like a whistle pig. It's not a whistle pig.
I think it's a German shepherd.
It's not.
It might have been.
It's a groundhog. No. You don't want those things around your house, though. They get underneath your foundation. Not great.
Gibby, I'm saying you need to talk to the people in charge of animal control at the undisclosed location.
I am.
All right, good.
I'm currently texting with him.
Good.
Maybe. Matt, we need to borrow you. Come on over.
I got eyes on him. I think he's under the deck over there now.
I'm telling you, it's never a good thing.
That was wild. It was more wild that you came over here and looked over there and didn't see him.
I can't believe that you don't have those on the east side.
No way, baby.
Okay, well.
I don't know. We do. I've seen ones on golf courses over there, but they never have tails. That had a long, flat tail like a beaver. I've never seen that.
My buddy says whistle pig is a groundhog.
Well, there you go.
Well, all right. It's a groundhog. Matt, I got you. I've trapped him. It's great.
I've seen a lot of groundhogs, but they don't have like these long, flat tails.
That is a groundhog.
Let's see.
I'm telling you.
I believe you, Gibby. I don't doubt you. This isn't a Wednesday night tape situation where I think you're talking nonsense.
No.
Whistle, pig, groundhog. Let's take a look at that bad boy. I don't know, but whatever that was,
it was formidable.
Oh, I think that's exactly what it was. I think it's a woodchuck.
Yeah.
Is a groundhog a whistle pig? Yes. So some of these do have tails. Some of them don't, though. But I'm telling you, man, this was a monster.
Yeah, they get big. They get fat because they're eating all your plants and everything else.
It's a marmot. And marmots inside city limits, that ain't legal either, dude.
Oh, it's very legal. Dude,
it's from Big Lebowski. Come on.
There are lots of wildlife locations around us.
You don't remember that scene from Big Lebowski?
I do, and I totally missed it. I totally missed the opportunity.
You did.
It's my fault.
Marmot.
It's Thursday. I'm a step slow. I'm trying to work 2 weeks ahead.
How was golf last night?
Great.
What? Love it.
Great. A nice little 43.
How do you not lead with this? Whenever we can talk about your greatness, we should.
It doesn't happen often. And God bless my wife. We're talking on the way to the course, and she goes, "You excited?" I go, "Yeah, I'm excited to hang out with my friends, have a few adult bevs, make it a little night." I'm like, but the game is. I said, I felt like I played well on Monday on the day off. I said, and I thought I played well last Wednesday, but I'm still not. I'm giving away golf balls. I have one bad shot a hole, and it cost me 2 strokes.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's not great.
Yeah,
and it's been that way the entire summer. Been frustrated. She's like, "Aren't you just supposed to go have fun and hit the golf ball?"
That's right,
baby. She's like, "Stop worrying about it. Just hit it. Just whatever." And I went out there and played a fantastic round, and I give all credit to the missus because the approach was great. I was hitting the ball well off the tee. It was great. 1 ball, 9 holes. Anytime I don't lose one, that's a win. And it usually leads to some good score.
If you don't lose any balls, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah. And it was a good scoring night by the entire league. The weather conditions were perfect. really good scoring night by everybody.
Good.
But I ended up winning. I was on top of the leaderboard at the end of the night, based on the handicap and the overall round.
I love it.
So
take a bow.
We're playing well right now.
Take a bow.
Now I got to figure out, like, I got to keep it going for the next few weeks. Obviously, we only have like a few weeks left to be able to do this. Yeah, look at the look on your face as I tell you.
Don't even say it, but there's no reason to say it. There's no reason to say it out loud.
But I'm like, I got to play this weekend, but we have a graduation party. Like, I've only got like 2 high school grad parties this summer. One's in Columbus. It's a family. And that's Saturday, and that leaves Sunday. And my one buddy is like, hey, I got a tea time, but it's like at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not going to name the course, but by 10 a.m. when we tee off, it could take 5 hours to play that course. And I'm just, because they don't do a good job policing it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And
too
pace
much
of play, and I'm like,
so it's hard. It's hard.
I'd rather go out at like 7 a.m. Sunday morning, be done by 11, and then have the rest of my day.
I love Boulder Creek. Love it. Love the layout. One of my favorites in the area. I haven't played it in probably 3 or 4 years because every time you're there, it's a 6-hour round, and I can't deal with a 6-hour round.
No,
it's awful. It's too much. Yeah, it's too much.
Yesterday,
you're right though. Yesterday was perfect. It was awesome.
I didn't I'm inside all day. I left. I got to the course, and I'm like, wow, there's a nice breeze. It's like 78 degrees. I'm like, this is good.
Dude, it was
no
great.
Sweating. Like,
I got a few holes in yesterday as well at a club over on the east side with my buddy Rosen, and it was perfect. They were perfect condition. It was perfect. It was one of the greatest. So I joined him. He was playing with 3 other guys. I joined them after they made the turn. So I played the back 9, and we had an awesome match that went down to 18, which was a tie. I drove 16, which was a 370-yard par 4, downhill, downwind.
Still.
But I had to hit a high draw, and drove the green. So I won 16. We smashed 117 as well to get us 1 up going to 18. They won 18. They had a stroke on 18. And Rosen, my buddy, he's got a very unorthodox putting stroke. He like takes it back like it's almost like a full swing and then kind of like walks with it as he hits it super slow. It's crazy. And he used to he was having some troubles on the greens like in years past.
Sounds like it still might be.
He was money. So we then go to the playoff hole because you could play at that course. You play 10, 11, and 18 like a 3-hole loop. So we did a 3-hole playoff. So 18, I hate to say it, par 5, I hit it in 2 and 3-putted for a par to smash. The next hole is a par 3. I hit mine to about 12 feet. Rosen was on top of a cliff, like an impossible 2-putt. He hit his by about 10 feet by. I left a little short. Rosen with his walk and his moving putt, like downhill, side hill. Like I had to hit mine really cautiously because I couldn't risk a 3-putt. I had to make him make his putt. He made that. And then he made another insane 2-putt on the last hole to smash me. So after that, we just called it a full smash. But the conditions were immaculate. Yesterday, summer solstice, longest day of the year, one of the best days.
That was the other thing. Like, we got done playing, and it was 8 o'clock, or about 7:45, and I looked at my nephew because he's in the league, and I'm like, we can get another 9 in if we want to go right now.
Easy.
We could play 18. And he's like, yeah, I want to go to the bar. And I'm like, yeah, I got to.
Of course. Is it related to you?
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I thought about it. I was like, man, I'm playing well. I could do this.
Yeah, I was having fun. I was like, after we go, I was like, we keep going. But a couple guys had to go to like dinners, and I ended up getting home at like 8-something with Miss Kay. She had made this delicious, which you smelled earlier, like a Caribbean shrimp thing that was awesome. And we ate outside at like 8:45, ate dinner under
daylight.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I know that there was a big party on the in Lakewood last night. My kid went to it, the Solstice Steps that they've built there. They had food trucks and big old party entertainment.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they make a big deal, big party out of it. So
why not?
Yes. Yeah, because from here, even though we're in the middle of summer, like you're like, why is the longest day of the year? Like why are we trending back the other way? I don't want to be trending that way till like August.
No. That's what I was saying to the kid. I was like, it's funny that for the last 6 months, every day was getting longer, and now we've started the every day's going to get shorter until it's December 21st.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, me neither. It stinks.
No,
yeah.
It's stupid.
It's not great. It's not great.
I had a conversation with my mother-in-law the other day about this whole daylight savings. She goes, "Why is this not getting passed?" She knew all about it. I said, "I don't know. There's dumb people in politics."
I would love to have it. Bobby Cart Jr. just texted us, says, "I haven't heard a Live PGA take from the exalted Emory D3 stud, Mr. Zegura." Well, thank you, Bobby Cart. When you ask,
don't inflate his ego, Cart, and you know
when you phrase it like that, how could I not answer it? They bought golf. The Saudis bought golf. The end. I was actually talking yesterday with somebody who does the logistics for all of their events, and that's what it is. I mean, I'm just happy golfing now it's over, that there's this rivalry. It's just golf again. I like that. I think that if you look hard enough at anything that's got huge, huge dollars behind it, there's probably something that somebody could get upset about. Do I love it in the sense that the Saudis were able to buy golf? No, but it's still golf. I mean,
I think it is.
I think, right?
I don't really know.
But I don't know.
This happened when you were on vacation.
No, we talked about it. The guys on the PGA that stood for them, like Rory, these guys got hosed. And what I said it then, and I'll say it again now for Mr. Cart Jr., is like when you get offered a life-changing bag, like you take the bag. Take it. And those guys that did are looking great. I think that they will probably try to help some of the guys on the PGA Tour that maybe they did, but apparently not Rory. Apparently, like, for whatever reason, he's not going to ever get kind of that bump-up pay back. It's just wild. It's a wild thing. It's something that didn't feel feasible.
Right. What's Rory's net worth?
No, he's doing just fine.
Yeah.
It's just something that didn't feel feasible that long ago, and then now it's a reality.
Yeah. Rory McIlroy net worth $170 million. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. You're right. I mean, everybody on that Live Tour is sitting pretty, and the PGA guys. But I think everything's in limbo. I mean, they're going to play out this year, and then what? Like, no one knows what the next steps are. No one.
No, it's golf. It's going to be golf, and that's fine. And I'm glad that we're not talking about this and blah 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 blah. But it is incredible. Look, as I said, $1 Million Man said, everybody's got a price. Everybody's got a price. And now the PGA Tour director is, taking his little leave and whatnot. Like, okay, he's not going to be there. And how could he be? You can't stand in front of the room of those guys ever again and say anything about it.
Nope. Agree with you, buddy.
By the way, how in the world, and so the Porzingis trade, speaking of.
We should talk NBA next segment.
Okay.
It is the night of the NBA draft, and I did have that in there.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm blown away by what has happened. So, all right. So coming up for you guys, we'll talk a little bit about the association. Again, you can get questions. Are you monitoring the Twitter?
Yes.
Is anybody and no questions for us?
Not yet.
Not even a single one?
Not yet. Don't worry.
The Rooster says, bold move opening the phone lines. How many times do you have to learn this lesson?
I agree, Rooster.
Yep. We're trying. We'll see. All right. Well, you can ask questions. You can just tweet them right to me if you want, at Nathan Zegura, at
Arnold
Browns_daily.
Kevin, what is the K&R call-in line these days? Because I know it's changed.
Listen, I'm looking right in the camera right now, and I know many of you are probably not even watching. If you're going to call, just be cool. Ask like a real question. Be cool. Don't say anything insane. Just be cool. And then we can have fun. We have fun. I enjoy it. I mean, you have to remember, I came from Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio where I did a 2-hour show by myself, and obviously because it was fantasy sports, it was a lot caller-driven. I love interacting with people. I love talking to people on the phone. It's great. But just be cool. It just takes one bad apple to spoil the whole bunch. Cleveland Browns Daily, ESPN Cleveland. Cleveland Browns Daily is brought to you by Bally Bet, a sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, coming soon to Ohio. All right, we'll start with a little bit of news, and now questions are flying in. Keep those questions coming. Just tweet right at me or at Nathan Zegura, at Browns_Daily. Use the hashtag AskCBD. Let's go ahead and talk for a second about what's going on with the National Basketball Association. You said the draft is tonight. We already know who the top pick's going to be, all of that. Yes, yes, yes. So there was a trade when we were going, I think, towards the end of the show. There was like a three-way trade that had been talked about that was going to send Porzingis to the Celtics. But because of the Clippers had concerns about Malcolm Brogdon's injury status, that collapsed the three-team trade. So now the Celtics just go ahead and made a trade that involves them, the Grizzlies, and the Wizards. The Celtics will receive Kristaps Porzingis, 2023 and 2024 first-round picks. The Grizzlies receive Marcus Smart, and the Wizards receive Tyus Jones and a 2023 second-round pick. I don't understand.
They're going to pay Porzingis $36 million.
He's really good. He's really good.
Is he still good?
We went through the thing. He averaged 23 and 8 last year and shot 50% from the field, 40% from three, and 81% from the line. He had 22. Yes. Yes, he is.
I guess.
He is. We looked at it. He is still very good. A lot of people think it's going to be a monumental win. People love this for the Celtics. Think it makes them the best team in the East.
I'm looking to see what else.
I just don't understand how they got Porzingis and 2 first-round picks.
I guess that's my thing. Maybe because they're not going to be able to bring Porzingis back after this season. I mean, Boston also has to figure out what to do with Jaylen Brown. Are you going to give him a max deal?
Yeah, it's wild.
I mean, they lose Smart. He's been a big leader on that basketball team.
Yep.
I mean, he won the 21-22 Defensive Player of the Year award.
I like Marcus Smart. He's got a lot of grit. I think it's going to be it's just wild. That's the NBA. Trades are fun, and often just kind of talking about the trade is maybe more fun than the reality of what it becomes. But he played 65 games last year. He's going to have to play 65 again, and we'll see if he's able to do that. Drafts tonight.
Yeah, you can hear it right here on 850 ESPN Cleveland, starting at 8 o'clock.
Where do the Cavs pick, Gibbe?
Not till the second round.
So not a whole lot of action.
I mean, I think they're trying to get back into the first round. I don't know what those options are because I know they don't have a lot of draft picks.
Well, right.
So, I mean, they pick at number 49 tonight, I believe, which is the 19th pick in the second round.
Okay, so there it is. So not a lot of action for the Cavs tonight. That's all right.
But, who else is moving? The NBA free agency is coming. I know that there's stuff with Zion Williamson and just a few things.
Moving on. Not on this program, Gibbe.
Yeah, that's on the show behind the show, kids.
That could have been on our pregame podcast with Beatbox. That's where that could have been. That's where that would have lived.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It is a wise thank you. It is a wise choice. Yeah, not on this one.
No.
All right. I got some mailbags coming in already, Gibbe. So we'll get a couple of these right now.
Well, my one buddy wants to know if he can call in and talk about the wrestling move that he performed on me last week.
Yes.
After I lost my match. No,
yes.
He may not.
I'd like to hear it. Wasn't a camel clutch?
It was.
Yeah, I'd like to. It's a terrible move.
There's a photo of it.
Where?
Not in your possession.
Come on.
No.
Browns Therapy.
My teammate and I ended up having to get camel clutched.
We need a video with Gibbe's face getting camel clutched by the Iron Sheik. That's what we need.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
All right, here we go. David asks, have you gotten into best ball drafts at all? So what's your strategy? So best ball, he's talking fantasy football. And a best ball draft is, and I haven't done them in a while, but I used to do a couple of them where you do it and you would just get, so it means you get your best lineup every week. So you want to stack. You want to do stacks for sure. You want quarterback with the receiver so you can pop there. You want to get a bunch of different running backs who have a variety of roles. So you want, if it's a PPR league, you want to get a bunch of pass catching running backs, but also try to get some featured guys. But you're just hoping to get good points there. I always think in best balls, receivers pop. You want to get those guys in high volume passing offenses. But the key is you got to stack. You have to have stacks. Whether with quarterbacks and wide receivers or quarterbacks and tight ends, you got to have those stacks. I think that's probably the number one thing. And then take flyers on high upside guys late, because you want guys – you don't need consistency in a best ball league. You want guys that are going to have a couple monster games, and that can win. That's enough to win for you. So that would be a good one there. The great Jade McCrae asked the show, do you guys see us picking up a veteran backup offensive tackle? We seem a little thin at depth there behind Jed and Jick. Jade, I think we're good there. James Hudson now entering his third season. Remember, he started the year for Jack Conklin, didn't allow a sack in those 2 games early, and then you made the big draft pick, DeJuan Jones out of Ohio State, that he's kind of be groomed there. So I think they feel pretty good about Hudson as that third swing tackle right now, and that's the way they're going to go. You've got a lot of money invested in Conklin. You've got money invested in Wills. You've got Hudson on that rookie deal. We've got to keep our money judiciously. I think if there's a veteran tackle that's added, it's going to be a veteran defensive tackle, not a veteran offensive tackle.
And we played Scott Peters meeting with the media post mini camp last week, and he talked about Hudson. He was pretty excited about the transition to year 3, and really thinking this could be a year that really vaults him forward in terms of his development and his career. So he was fired up about him. So we'll see.
I mean, I'll never forget the block
He's been here for every practice.
Yeah, I'll never forget about the block that Hudson had last year. Was it at the goal line against Cincy when they sent him in motion? Akeem, I can't remember. I always forget if it's Akeem Davis Gaither or Akeem Gaither Davis. But he was the linebacker for the Bengals, and Hudson obliterated him. And so, yeah, I like the young talent we have in Hudson, and we got in DeJuan Jones. I mean, DeJuan Jones, a lot of people thought was a second-round pick. And so you were able to get him, and there's no rush to get him on the
Davis
field.
Gaither.
Davis Gaither. All right, I had it right the first time. Davis Gaither. Yeah, and he might be Akeem no more after what James Hudson did to him. All right, big dog status. He said, what's the most extreme adventure you would take if you had unlimited cash? Asking with condolences to the Titans. Not that. That to me, and serious condolences, but that sounds like that's like a top. I'm a claustrophobic person anyway. That sounds like one of the worst ways. And you have to, it's coming.
I got claustrophobic going on the USS Cod. It's the submarine here in town that's like retired from World War II, like that's docked here in Cleveland. I got claustrophobic going through that. I'm like, I don't know how David Robinson lived on one of those.
What's wild to me about the sub, and I hope that there is a miracle, and a lot of people basically said that's what it would take at this point, like beyond a miracle to salvage it, and is that they went down on a sub that didn't have any windows. So they were down there, and the sub was going to go by, and they were going to be able to like see on a TV screen inside of it. So if you're just watching on a TV screen inside of it, why do you need to be down there?
Yeah, why do you want to go down there?
No,
12,000 feet.
It's awful tragedy, and it just it doesn't seem good. So certainly hoping for the best, or hoping for a miracle there. Tim Street says you should try golfing at Sugarbush out in Garrettsville. Nice and challenging track.
I have friends that in the Hooligans League that have just played that. They said it is quite the challenge, but it's a very nice track.
Yeah, that's great. Sounds like a great place.
Yeah, it is totally worth it from what I'm told.
James the Ringer says, based on the limited information given Dr. Z, either played at Barrington or the Country Club of Hudson. Am I right? Both courses are beautiful. You are not right. It's a very stunning, unbelievable course on the east side. If you get it right, I will give it to you. But so far, we're not there yet. Let's see. A guy wants to know if we would be willing to field his call to discuss the charity concert he's throwing in 2 weeks. I mean, if you call up and ask a good question, you can give a plug for it at the end of it. I have no problem with that as long as it's quick.
I mean, we do have a call.
Nice person.
I think we do have a call on hold.
Oh, baby. All right, hold on. One more.
Do
Josh
you want
Van
to do
Bibber.
this, or
Hold
do you
on.
not
Yes,
want to do
I'm
this?
not afraid. Josh
I don't
Van
know if
Bibber.
we want to.
Hold on. We got one. Josh Van Bibber, you're having a ribeye with like a sauce with it. What's the best accompaniment? Demi-glace, hollandaise, béarnaise? Absolutely not. Compound butter, something along those lines, like a bone marrow or roasted shallot butter. I don't want anything. My steak stands on its own. I want to put a little bit of salt and pepper on it, and I want to eat my steak. I'm not a steak sauce guy.
I don't mind. I like sauces, but I don't need it. I don't.
If I'm having a good steak, I want to taste the meat. Me personally, I
don't mind.
If you said though I had to have one of those, a red wine demi-glace would be fine. Maybe like a bone marrow butter, but just a little bit on it that melts into it. I don't want like a buttery sauce at all. And then the other thing I would say is there was sometimes at Red, the steakhouse, I would get, and I love getting this. It's the only time I ever actually order a sauce with a steak would be they had a thing. It was basically olive oil that had sliced garlic and hot chilies in it. And so you could kind of drizzle that olive oil with some hot sliced garlic, fresh garlic, and hot chilies in it just over it, and it gave like a little tang and a nice kick to what you had. Steve says the sub has one portal that 5 people could look at. Okay, all right. So at least it's one. I like that. I just hope it works out for them. Big Labruski is a great handle, by the way. All right, we got one call. Gibby.
Do you want to take Jim in Akron?
Yes. I'm not
Kevin,
afraid.
are you ready? Do you have the dump button ready? Do you have everything ready to go? Kevin, I'm going to tell you right now, this might be the only call that we take today, depending on how this goes.
This is a big one.
Jim,
let's go, baby.
Do us well here.
All right, good. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. You got it, brother. Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I think, unfortunately, as you would say, it's not. There probably isn't a family that has not been affected by cancer, and the day we get a cure will be a great day for all of us. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I hope so.
I think you will.
And we'll have just so you know, we'll have training camp insider shows from the Greenbrier for you. I'll be doing 2-minute drills from the Greenbrier.
Jim, thank you for the call.
Browns
Appreciate
Daily
it,
will be at the Greenbrier as well. Thank you, Jim. And yeah, and then hopefully you can get to those 8 days. So we'll still be giving people access to the practices that maybe they're not that at. When we're in Philly, I'm sure I'll be doing 2-minute drills. I mean, we might even do a training camp insider there. I don't know what the plan is on that yet, but I can tell you we will be giving you 2-minute drills, training camp insiders, Browns dailies. I think Gibbe's doing even some BPAs. Not me. BPAs from maybe he's going to rope me and I'll be there. What else? Maybe? Yeah, absolutely. As long as it doesn't interfere with golf, Gibbe.
I think we'll have you do some writing.
No.
I saw your name bannered about for something else.
What?
I believe I think Yellowstone will come and talk to you about that.
All right, we're going to take a break, and I'm going to find out what he's talking about. When we come back, we're going to hear from Joel Bitonio. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on ESPN Cleveland. All right, we're gonna get to Joel Bitonio in just a second. Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet. Coming soon to Ohio, a betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. I just told you
just to throw right to it.
Hold on, I don't want to. I came across something that brings me great joy, and I want to share it with you. Can I do that?
God.
But
sure.
before I do that,
Real
can
quick.
I tell you that for a team of injury lawyers dedicated to every client every day, call 1-800-ELK Ohio. Elk & Elk is a proud partner of the Cleveland Browns. All right, this is why I don't want to throw right to it. I just came across something sent to me by my great friend Don, which is awesome. It's Jared Allen. Have you seen this quote from Jared Allen lately, Gibbe?
No.
Jared Allen, quote. This is from the Sports Center Instagram account, and I believe this was posted 1 hour ago. And I love this. Sports Center, and so I'm gonna, before I read the quote, we'll say what Sports Center said under it, understandable with a laughing emoji. Here's a quote from Jared Allen. I actually had to get an iPhone. I have an Android and an iPhone just because the team, the Cavs, wouldn't let me in on the group text. They want all blue messages. Understandable, everybody else says. And here sits Gibbe the Green. What do you have to say about that, Gibbe?
I don't want to be in your group text. I get enough texts.
You are on our group text anyway. We make exceptions for you.
Well, yeah, but
if you were a blue, though, it would be so much easier. If you were a blue and me, you, and Bo text, it would be easier. When me, you, Bo, and the Hoff text, it would be easier. You're the only green out there.
Dare to be different, kids. Not happening.
I like the Cavs. I like their all-blue policy.
I'm sure you do.
I'm for it.
That's fine. I like being in your text chain. I don't need to be in a million other text chains.
Why would that open you? I'm just saying it would just make ours easier. You know how much easier it is?
Like our golf league is not even on text chain. We use the WhatsApp.
Because
it's way better.
Not if you had a blue, it would be so easy. The hard thing with you is sharing media amongst ourselves.
Well, yeah, my wife and kids complain about that frequently.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big, big deal. So
then you wouldn't have anything else to complain about. I'm perfect otherwise.
And with that, we go to Joel Bitonio, Browns All-Pro left guard.
Mm-hmm. You're down.
Yeah, that was, obviously heartbreaking, for the organization. He, really meant so much to the organization and the city of Cleveland. And really, we watched a little video today that Coach Stefanski put out there. And just for, sports and social justice and all those things, for his whole life, really. So he's been around the team since I got drafted. I remember he'd fly with the team when I was young, when he was a little bit healthier and stuff. And we got to see him a little bit last year. But, he lived a full life, and it was obviously, a sad day.
Do you remember meeting him for the first time or anything like that?
Not vividly. I mean, obviously I was like, oh my gosh, that's Jim Brown. You know what I mean? But I don't remember the first conversation. But he was so open to talking to guys and to just having a conversation. If he was sitting at dinner or after a meeting or something like that, you could really ask him any questions you wanted. And he was there just to try and help, the team out or guys out however way possible.
Joe, when Watson came in last year for the 6 games, it was a big adjustment for the offensive line in particular. He'd run into sacks on occasion. It was a whole different world. Can work be done here on easing that, or do you have to wait till training camp?
There's definitely work. You can always do some work. I think you get more plays in the structure that, Deshaun feels comfortable with, that we can feel comfortable with. You go, even when he was here for last year's training camp, you take 10, 11 weeks off in the season, you work with another guy like Jacoby. It's a different world for him. So I think there's time. I think timing with the receivers, all that stuff adds into protection and stuff. It all works together. There's 11 guys on the field. And so I think there's a lot of things you can work on here. But I think training camp's when it really gets ramped up, when you have guys, flying in front and having to move in the pocket a little bit. I think he's always going to try and make plays with the legs and extend plays, and that's what makes him special. You saw against the Commanders last year when he did that a few times and really, made those big plays.
He's the most mobile quarterback, I assume, that you've blocked for this will be your 10th year, right?
I don't know. Hoyer was pretty fast. I'm just kidding. Yes, he was.
So how big an adjustment would that be for you? Is it more for a guard or a tackle, do you think?
I think besides, mobility, it's really where they set up in the pocket. You know what I mean? How he sets up in the pocket, how long you hold the ball for. The mobility is always a bonus. I mean, anytime, I mean, you saw him last year. He did, move around the pocket. And there was times where he broke tackles that were sacks and made big runs for us. So I think just getting used to where he sets up in the pocket and how he gets rid of the ball and the timing area.
Is there a Callahan teaching point for that to you guys?
Yeah, just know where he's at. If he sets to 10 yards, like our tackles need to realize like we have to get a little bit more depth and stuff like that. So we're kind of filling it out right now, getting the film on it. So when it comes to training camp and games, we can kind of realize where we set. And I think he does set a little bit deeper than Jacoby did.
When you look at the Browns record books, Nick Chubb's getting up there, and after games we'll see notes like he's the first running back since Jim Brown to do this. As someone who's been here as long as you have, what would it mean for you to see Nick climb up the record books?
Yeah, it would be great. I've said it a lot. He's one of my favorite teammates, and I think the way he carries himself, the way he works, where he puts the team first, it's all, makes for a special player. But anytime we can get Nick, accolades, and hopefully he climbs up the record book for us. When we were watching that video today, I was like, in the most respectful way possible, I was like, Jim Brown looks like Nick Chubb got thrown back into like 1960 and is running against these guys. You know what I mean? Like how athletic and strong and fast he was. But no, they're two great running backs, and I know Nick will tell you we want to try and get wins any way possible. But anything we can do to help him out is a bonus.
Joel, you look at Deshaun out on the field, you see the body language. It seems like a lot more demonstrative, a lot more confident. Do you notice a difference in that regard that it's his team now?
Yeah, I showed up the other day and he just feels more comfortable. I think calling plays, breaking the huddle, like you said, leading, all those things where you're around the guys for over a year now, he's getting more comfortable doing that kind of stuff. And anytime you're in an offense, this is our fourth year with Stefanski. There's obviously wrinkles and new things that we're putting in, but I think everybody's continue to get comfortable. But quarterback's probably the most important position in sports, and so he's feeling more comfortable, and hopefully we can translate that on the field.
Joe, nationally it feels like the Browns are definitely under radar this year. Do you like that?
I don't even think about it, honestly, because I've had years where Browns are going to do this, Browns are going to do that. We got to do it on the field. You know what I mean? We got to perform on the field and figure it out that way.
Joel is the longest tenured guy. You've seen a lot of coaches, come and go here. I know it's not your side of the ball per se, but has anything jumped out at you, either through observation or just kind of talking to guys in the locker room about Schwartz and Ventrone coming here?
No, I've heard that he's a little fiery at times. You know what I mean? But no, I know he has a lot of experience in this league, and Schwartz is his defenses have been good in the past, and I think we have the right guys up front to make that work, and the right corners and safeties in the back end to make that work too. But he's definitely a commanding presence, and I think it's going to be good for us. I think with Coach Stefanski and Coach Schwartz and AVP and really the whole crew, Bubba, we had our field goal meeting today, and all of it's working really well. I think it's a good coaching staff, and as players we got to learn and perform.
Joel, you've done a lot here. You haven't done a training camp field trip to West Virginia. So what do you think about this?
Yeah, I don't know how the weather is. It seems probably hotter than here. Yeah, so that was my main thing, and my wife's like, "You're gonna be gone for 10 days now," so that's a little bit tough too. But we'll see. I was talking to the guys from the Saints that have been up there for training camp. For them, it's cooler, so they're like excited to go up there, And I was like, I think it might be a little hotter for us. Someone said the hotel might be haunted or something like that. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I wish it was like, we go there for like 3 days to play golf and then start training camp. But no, it should be an experience. It'll be good to be around the guys for a little bit. We have a little extra time with, Joe Thomas's Hall of Fame game and everything like that. So we'll have some time to get to know each other.
Do you plan to attend the ceremony?
Yeah, I hope so. I think Kevin said we should be able to get out there and at least go to the ceremony.
Is that the official name, the Joe Thomas Hall of Fame game?
For us, yeah.
That's exactly what it is. The Hoff Hall of Fame game, Joe Thomas's honor. We're getting close to that, which I'm actually getting very excited about. I think that is going to be a great time for all Browns fans to celebrate the career of the great Hoff, great human as well. All right, when we come back, Jon Machota. Have we figured that out yet? Are we going to get a
We will when we get him on the horn.
I'll work on it.
We'll work on that.
Kevin's on top of it.
He will join us. Continues to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, their off season this year, and then we'll go through some categories. Gibby and I on the Cowboys, and then we'll get back mailbag. More questions at Nathan Zegura at Browns_Daily. Use the hashtag AskCBD, and once we get to 2:30, chance you guys can call again. Let's go quick questions, funny things, whatever you want. Keep it clean, keep it good, and we'll be able to do that around 2:30 here. Remember, you listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, a sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, coming soon to Ohio. CBD returns on ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back. Hour number 2, Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, an official betting partner of the Cleveland Browns, coming soon to Ohio. And this is one of the fun things we get a chance to do, but before we get to it, we're going to get you talk some information about Browns tickets, since I know you're all excited about that. You can be a part of one of the most passionate fan bases in the NFL. Join the Browns season ticket member wait list today for the best chance at securing tickets to all home games in future seasons. Don't miss out. Go to clevelandbrowns.com/tickets or call 440-891-5050 to reserve your spot today. And yeah, our off-season tour continues right now. Jon Machota, Cowboys analyst for The Athletic, joining us on the Twisted Tea hotline. 10, brought to you by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, an official sponsor of the Cleveland Browns. By the way, keep it twisted, Cleveland. I had a Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea the other day on a hot summer day. It is a treat. It was an absolute delight. I couldn't have been happier. Fresh brewed tea, that's the key. It's delicious. Loved it. Let's go now to Jon Machota, the Cowboys analyst for The Athletic, who joins us. Follow him on Twitter at Jon Machota. Jon, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on with us. All right, want to talk to you about the Cowboys team. What do you think so far of the offseason moves? Have they added some of the pieces that you think they needed to add to be a contender?
Yeah, they've done a good job. I mean, they kind of surprised quite a few people down here when they, in a week, traded for Brandon Cooks and then traded for Stephon Gilmore. I mean, filling two of their biggest holes in the roster late in the season. I mean, they went out and signed T.Y. Hilton last year during the season because they needed more help at receiver. You know, it looked like they were going to possibly sign Odell Beckham, and that didn't happen. And so going into this offseason, receiver was such a big issue. And now that you have Brandon Cooks to pair with CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, that was huge. And then their number 2 corner spot had been a pretty big question mark, especially after they lost some guys with injuries. So now you put Stephon Gilmore opposite of Trayvon Diggs, and now you have a defense that, I mean, the last 2 years they've led the NFL in takeaways, and that's something that hasn't happened since the Steelers of the 70s. So this is a chance they could potentially go 3 years in a row. Their defense is the strength, and that's the most interesting part of this team because, you know, for over a decade and maybe even longer than that, it's been very offense first with the Dallas Cowboys, and this is a team that, you know, it should have one of the best defenses in the NFL and should be able to win a lot of games because of its defense.
Yeah, it is an excellent defense, and they made sure to keep some of those kind of key places there. Leighton Vander Esch, they were able to get 2 years, $8 million. Donovan Wilson, who played great last year, had 100 tackles, 5 sacks as well. They got him 3 years, $21 million. So they kind of kept some of those key pieces together on that defensive side. But let's talk about the offense here. It's going to be a new era, and probably rightly so in the backfield, right? Ezekiel Elliott is gone. It is now Tony Pollard's time, which some people maybe thought should have happened earlier, but it will now. Led the NFL in yards per touch. What do you think of that running back room? And then they brought in Ronald Jones. Is he being looked at as the guy that will spell Pollard from time to time? But is this Tony Pollard's show now?
Yeah, it's absolutely Tony Pollard's show, and he is certainly capable of having a huge year and being one of the league's top backs. I mean, he has everything. You can run inside, outside. He's great in the passing game. So there's no question that it was a no-brainer to put the franchise tag on him. But the issue is that, you know, Ezekiel Elliott was their leading carrier last year and obviously had been for the previous, you know, going back to 2016. And so obviously Tony Pollard, you know, he went above Ezekiel Elliott. He was their number 1 back, most productive back last year. But in replacing Zeke, I mean, that's over 200 carries that you have to replace because Tony Pollard's going to get more touches, but there's still a lot that's going to be out there for whoever their backup running backs are. And it won't be just 2 guys. I mean, like as you mentioned, Ronald Jones will be a big part of that. Malik Davis, the guy that was a rookie last year, is an undrafted guy. And then their 6th-round pick this year, Deuce Vaughn out of Kansas State. So it's going to be kind of a committee thing. And really it's, you know, you could argue behind the offensive line, it's the biggest position group to watch during training camp. And then especially during the preseason, those preseason games, they're not going to have Tony Pollard out there. He's coming back from injury. He's clearly their lead guy. So you're going to see a lot of shuffling there at that running back spot to see who kind of emerges to take that role. And there's still that little bit of a sliver that maybe that number 2 back isn't on the roster right now. Maybe it's somebody they go out and sign. Maybe it's Leonard Fournette. You know, Jerry doesn't want to close the door. Jerry Jones doesn't want to close the door on a potential Ezekiel Elliott return. I don't think that'll happen, but it is going to be one of those position groups that you really don't know for sure, and that there should be a lot of sorting out done in training camp and throughout the preseason to figure that out.
There will be, but they're also going to be putting the ball in the air. CeeDee Lamb, we know how good he is, and then you get Brandon Cooks, who has 1,000-yard seasons under his belt with the New Orleans Saints, with the New England Patriots, with the LA Rams, and the Houston Texans. I'd have to think if he has 1,000 yards with the Cowboys, that'd be 1,000 yards receiving with 5 different teams. That would have to be an NFL record. It feels like if maybe 4 already is. But amazing how he's bounced around, but that guy can flat out run, and I think brings kind of he's a perfect complement to push Gallup back in the 3rd role. How excited are the Cowboys about him, and what was kind of the talk about what you've seen at OTAs, mini camps with Brandon Cooks out there and Dak Prescott?
So yeah, Cooks is absolutely looked the part. I mean, especially with his speed. That's one of those things that during OTAs and mini camp that, now is the time with the collective bargaining agreement where there's not a lot going on there in terms of, the Cowboys didn't do any 11-on-11 during any of their off-season portion that, was not full pads, but the speed of Cooks is very evident. I mean, I would say from watching all their OTA practices and mini camp that the biggest highlight was one of the deep balls that Dak threw to Brandon Cooks, where Brandon Cooks just blew by the defense and he got behind him, and it would have been probably 65-yard touchdown. And so that was very evident, and that's been something that this offense has really needed was that speed element. But he's the guy that they really liked last year. They tried to go after Cooks before the trade deadline, but the asking price was too high.
Yep.
And so it kind of made sense that they went back to Houston and were like, hey, let's try and get this done now. And they gave up a 5th and 6th round pick, and Houston agreed to pay $6 million of his $18 million salary this year. And so that just was a no-brainer deal for the Cowboys. So yeah, you put him together with CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. And the thing about Gallup is that he was coming back from that knee injury last year, and you could just tell all season that he wasn't back to the old Michael Gallup he says he is now. And so, yeah, you have the potential of having 3 1,000-yard type wide receivers. So, they obviously filled a big hole there.
So I just looked this up while we were talking. Brandon Cooks has the 1,000 yards with 4 different teams, as I mentioned. Brandon Marshall is the only other player with 4 teams, with Denver, Miami, Chicago, and the Jets. He would be the first, if he goes over 1,000 with the Cowboys, to have 1,000 yards receiving for 5 different NFL teams. So that would be something that would be fun to watch there. So you add in Brandon Cooks. We know that Amari Cooper came to the Cleveland Browns last year and did very well, and hopefully I'm guessing that they think that this will kind of make up for what was probably a mistake in giving away Amari at the rate they did. But they're going to have to do some more replacing, and that's replacing the tight end Dalton Schultz, 57 catches, 577 yards, 5 touchdowns last year, had 78 for 808 and 8 scores the year before. Who's going to step up in that tight end room for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, top of that depth chart right now is Jake Ferguson, 4th-round pick last year out of Wisconsin, and he did a good job as their number 2 tight end last year, and he seems ready for a bigger load. I just don't know that he'll be ready to take on completely what Dalton Schultz has been for them the last few years, where he's clearly their number 1 tight end. Now Ferguson steps in, but they draft Luke Schoonmaker out of Michigan in the 2nd round. They got Peyton Hendershot, who played pretty well, a guy out of Indiana, and then they have Sean McCune, another guy out of Michigan. That kind of rounds out that room with all these Big Ten guys. They really like the way that they can block and then also be used in the passing game. So it's just an interesting time if you're a Cowboys fan, because you're so used to, all right, number 1 tight end is Jason Witten, and then after it was Witten, it kind of went right into Schultz, and now you're looking at it, and it's like, some people think it'll be Ferguson, others think it might be Schoonmaker. I think Ferguson's the lead guy there. I just don't know if the production is going to be there right away. I mean, even Dalton Schultz, his first 2 years in the league, he didn't make anywhere near that type of production. But then those last 3 years, he really took it to another level, to the point where I was kind of surprised that he ended up in Houston on just a 1-year deal. I thought there'd be a bigger market for him, and obviously the Cowboys moved on. But yeah, it's going to be more of a group effort than just a number 1 tight end, I think, this year.
Dak Prescott, where are we with Dak Prescott? Last year, 15 interceptions, led the NFL in that category in only 12 games, coming off of what was such a great 2021 when he threw for, basically 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 picks. Last year, sometimes the decisions were not as good. What's kind of the thinking about Dak right now, and was it just an anomaly and he's expected to bounce back?
Yeah, I think it's kind of an outlier season for him. You look at his track record. He's been their starter since 2016. With Aaron Rodgers leaving the Packers, he's now the longest tenured quarterback with any team now in the NFL. So he's got a lot of experience, and there's just this one season with 15 interceptions, which obviously led the league. I think he'll get that down. That's one of the things with Mike McCarthy taking over the offense. When he took over in Green Bay, those next 2 years, the interceptions came down with Brett Favre. I think he was at 29 the year before, which is crazy to think. 29
now, yeah, they would never, never.
Yeah, and then he got it down to, I think it was 18 McCarthy's first year, and then I believe it was 15 his second year. So I expect those numbers to come down. The trust in the receivers, adding Cooks. I just think that just hasn't been an issue for him. It's just interesting the way things ended for them this past season, because if they would have lost to Tampa Bay after Dak had the game he did, a lot of the talk would be different about him, because that was arguably the best game Dak Prescott's ever played. But then the following week, they lose to the 49ers, and that's one of Dak Prescott's worst games he's ever played.
Yeah.
And so you have in like a week span just both sides of where this is, and so obviously he is the number one talking point down here in Dallas and among Cowboys fans. But I just don't see Dak Prescott going anywhere. I think he's going to be the Cowboys quarterback for a long time. I think last year the turnovers were his biggest issue. I just don't see that repeating this year. I think he's going to have a bounce back year.
He's got a lot of talent, obviously, as well, with the addition of Brandon Cooks there. I like that. You got Pollard's dynamic, Cooks is dynamic, CeeDee Lamb is incredibly dynamic, and then Gallup, if he's healthy, has proven in the past to be able to be a very dynamic player as well. Talking with Jon Machota, Cowboys analyst for The Athletic, right now here on Cleveland Browns Daily. All right, John, Keanu Benton, the rave reviews the Cowboys got for that pick, that he was exactly what they needed in that defense, to have that big guy in the middle with Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence on the outsides. How has he looked, and is there the thought that he's going to be able to be an impact player from day one? It's tough to do that as a rookie, but he has certainly the size to be able to do so.
Are you talking about Mozzie Smith?
Mozzie, did I?
Are you talking about?
Yes, Mozzie Smith. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. No, this is the thing though with Mozzie Smith, because they
Ben
take him
went
in the
to
first
Steelers.
round.
Yep.
He fills a need that is their one technique defensive tackle. Their run defense has been really the only weakness on their defense, so that shores that up. The problem though for guys in our business is that we're trying to come out of OTAs and minicamp with this great evaluation to tell fans, hey, this is what we saw. This is, this first round pick's going to do this. But just the way OTAs and minicamp are, if you're a defensive tackle, they don't want you doing much. They don't want you getting in the trenches and throwing guys around. They don't want guys getting hurt. To be honest with you, that was never going to happen with the Cowboys this year, regardless, because these last 2 years, they've had too much contact in the OTAs and minicamp in that particular area in the offensive and defensive line, and it's led to them losing OTA practices and then Mike McCarthy being fined by the league. So we just haven't got to see a ton of Mozzie Smith because of that, because they're just the best time to see a defensive tackle is when all the pads are on. So that's the number one thing that we're looking forward to with training camp when the pads come on, and then obviously in these preseason games, because he is absolutely what they need. Is they needed a guy that they could plug in the middle, and to be honest, I didn't expect them to take the position, because he is the first defensive tackle they've taken in the first round since they took Russell Maryland in 1991. Wow. I mean, it's just crazy. It's gone that long for this franchise to address that position. So it's not the sexiest pick. He didn't have a ton of sacks when he was in college, but I just think that his impact could be huge, that it shows up more than just, with his individual stats.
Oh, yeah. And these OTAs are passing camps. It's funny. I was interviewing our defensive line coach, who actually had spent some time with the Cowboys, Ben Bloom. And I was like, what do you get out of this time? You never really get to see your guys really play. There's kind of it's very much a passing camp for the skill position players on offense and defense, and that's basically what it is. So that's funny, and that's the number one pick, and you're right. There's no really real way to see his impact, and in many cases, if he's doing his job, it's going to be allowing other people to make plays, which is unique when you're a first-round pick, but at the same time, he certainly can help a defense that you started this saying is going to be the strength of this team.
Yeah, and again, whatever they were going to do in the first round, it wasn't going to be the sexy pick. It came down to Mozzie Smith or going with an offensive guard. And so it's really tough to really move the fan base there. And then again, like that pick is the one that most people want to know about when you're covering OTAs and minicamp. Oh, it's the first round pick. What are we seeing? And because of that, you're like, you love it the years when they take CeeDee Lamb or a Micah Parsons, where you can just, the speed just jumps out at you, the size, you can whatever. But with Mozzie Smith, it's like, man, and then the other part is like Zach Martin, who is their top offensive lineman and, probably a future Hall of Famer. He was held out of OTAs and minicamp, and that's the number one guy that, we're looking forward to seeing. Okay, how does Zach Martin, the one-on-one battles in training camp against Mozzie Smith, let's see where Mozzie Smith really stacks up here. And so, because of that, it's going to be interesting to see, because, like I said, that was the only weakness on that defense. It was already one of the better defenses in the league, but to get that position now shored up, and they re-signed Jonathan Hankins, another guy that was pretty good in there when he was healthy. You look across the board of the entire defense, there just really isn't a weakness there right now, as long as those guys can stay healthy.
Yeah, and then the Cowboys gave you in the draft the best story of the draft, maybe Deuce Vaughn, the son of team scout Chris Vaughn, let the dad make the call to let his son know they were drafting him. I thought the video of that was very powerful. I definitely cried, not afraid to admit it. How's that kind of been? And this guy was just so productive in college, actually led all the running backs, or led everybody in the NCAA in scrimmage yards from 2020 to 2022. Super productive at Kansas State on a very good football team. Feels like he could be kind of a dynamic guy and somebody that they could probably carve out a few touches for every week.
Yeah, it was a great story. Those are the type of, in my work, those are the layups that when you're in that final day of the draft and you're just like writing about a bunch of players that you're like, I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about here, but really I don't know a ton about these guys. And then they take Deuce Vaughn and you're just like, oh, this is perfect. And then they bring Chris Vaughn, his dad, out to, we got a group of us got to talk to him for about 10 minutes because he's one of their lead scouts. And you're just like, this is the perfect story. You want it to be successful because of that. But I will say, from OTAs and minicamp, one thing you can take away, though, he's the smallest NFL player I've ever seen. I mean, he's listed here on their roster he's at 5'6", they got him at, and 176 pounds, and I think they rounded up on both of those. And so the thing is that running back position, it seems like it's the one above all others that you can see that translation from the success in college to the pros. So I think he'll be in the mix. I wonder how much they're going to be able to get him the ball in space, because that's really where, he can make things, he can make people miss and use his size to his advantage. But yeah, again, that's why he fell to the 6th round, because there's questions about how can that size hold up and what kind of role can he have. But in talking to him a few times since he got drafted, he's obviously all the right things, having a father that works in the NFL, works for the Cowboys. And he's an easy guy to root for, but it's just one of those things where you're like, I got to kind of see this before I believe it, because he is so small out there that you're like, yeah, if he can find a hole, then yeah, it's gonna be hard for the defenders to find him sometimes, but you're gonna have to find him a way to get the ball in space, and so I got to kind of see that first, because I'm not sure exactly how they plan on doing that.
It will be very interesting to see. Cowboys in the NFC, it feels like they're a lock to make the playoffs. What are the kind of expectations for this team? And then what is Mike McCarthy on the hot seat if they do not live up to those expectations? It is not a loaded conference at all. It's a very good division. Obviously, the team that won the NFC last year, the Eagles are in the division. The Giants have made some moves. The Commanders have some good pieces, certainly on the defensive line. What's the state right there? Jerry Jones is not a guy who likes to sit idly by. What's kind of the state of affairs right now, expectations and consequences for not meeting them?
Yeah, I think the only way McCarthy wouldn't be back is if it was just a disaster of a season. If they build on what they've done, it's been a long time since the Cowboys have had back-to-back double-digit win seasons, and now they're building on winning 12 games these last 2 years, and they've fallen short in the playoffs. But as long as he keeps building on that, I don't see why Jerry wouldn't have him back for his 5th year. He signed a 5-year deal when he took over as Cowboys head coach in 2020, and so it's one of those things where if I'm ranking what's in the NFC, I would put the 49ers and Eagles above the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's probably it.
That trio is kind of above everybody else. And
yes.
So, I kind of expect them to be back in the same situation they were last year, where, they got a chance to make a run in the playoffs, and if they're healthy and hot at the right time, hey, this could be the first Cowboys team to get to the NFC Championship game since 1995. But because it's been since 1995, it's kind of like what I said with the Deuce Vaughn thing. Like, you kind of want to see it first before you really believe it, because you just kind of gotten to the used to, hey, this is probably not going to go that deep. Like, it's not like they haven't had talented teams in 2014, 2016, even last year, and something always seems to get in the way, and it's almost like that, that they're cursed in a way. And so because of that, on paper, I would put the Cowboys up there with the Eagles and Niners, but then now you got to play the games. Are you hot at the right time? I certainly thought they were. Last year, like I said, they're coming off that game against, you're ending Tom Brady's career. You're blowing out the Buccaneers even while your kicker's missing every single kick, and you're just continue to blow them out. You think you'd roll that in? You're playing a team that ended you in the playoffs last year, and this is your chance to redeem yourself and get over the hump. And they played well in the first half, and they couldn't get it done in the second. And so that's what it's all about. It's not about making the playoffs. The team has to make the playoffs, but it's once they get there, you got to finally make a run. You got to, 1995 for the Dallas Cowboys, and that just that's ridiculously too long.
It is wild. It is wild to say. Jon, thanks so much for the time. Appreciate all of the great insights on the Dallas Cowboys. You can follow him on Twitter at JonMachota. Jon Machota, Cowboys analyst from The Athletic, joining us on the Twisted Tea hotline. Jon, have a great day, and thanks so much.
No problem. Anytime.
All right, we will be back with a little deeper dive, some fun in the Cowboys, talking right here on Cleveland Browns Daily on ESPN Cleveland. All right, let's take a deeper dive into the Dallas Cowboys. Gibbe uniforms. Keep or change?
I like them. I am torn. The navy blue grows on me. Maybe more so than the one that has like the stars on the shoulder
But that's
pads.
a special one. That's the Thanksgiving one. The shoulders. The classic ones of those are they're so good. They have 3 uniforms. They've had 3 uniforms forever.
I feel like that's everybody in the NFC East, by the way, too, minus the commies.
Yeah.
I mean, when they walk out, like when the Giants come out in those blues and the Cowboys come out in theirs and the Eagles come out in their greens, you're like, wow.
Yeah, but the Eagles
nice.
are not the Eagles of our youth.
No,
the Giants are not the Giants of our youth. The Cowboys
but the
still
Giants
look like
have
the Cowboys.
that retro.
Yeah, when I wear that retro, it's so good. They should just keep it.
Yeah.
Same with I do like the new Eagles, but the old Eagles were also great.
But 3 very good uniforms. But yeah, it's the Cowboys. The uniforms are just fine.
Yeah, they're the Cowboys. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. I do like the older Thanksgiving ones that they used to have with the big star on the shoulder. Now it's kind of more like a color on the shoulder and not necessarily the big star on the shoulder, but all their uniforms are great. Cowboys have fantastic uniforms.
Yes, no, there are no complaints. Jerry World does it up quite nicely. What do you got next?
What's their best uniform in history? What's your
Oh
favorite?
God, I don't have an answer.
My favorite would be the ones like the playmaker ones with the star on the shoulders, and then just the classic white over that kind of blue-gray pan and the helmet. I mean, they're good. They only have so many uniforms, and quite frankly, they're all pretty good. But the Thanksgiving uniforms of the playmaker and that era were so good. And the classic white's so good. I mean, the classic white really is so good.
I'll give you that.
I mean,
they do it right. They do everything right.
They're fantastic.
Except
uniforms.
win.
They're America's team. Yeah.
Hire coaches.
Stadium, is it elite? Yeah.
I've never been.
Jerry World. Yeah. Road trip, absolutely.
I've never been to Dallas, period.
Oh, man. I was there for the Super Bowl, the Steelers-Packers Super Bowl.
Yeah. Our own Matt Wilhelm.
Yeah.
Getting his ring.
That's right. Got his ring on that one.
Yeah.
Definitely worth the road trips. Dallas, Big D. Must-do thing on the road trip. That's a good. I don't know Dallas that well to say what the one thing you have to do.
Yeah. I
had a great time there, though. That's for darn sure.
I mean, I'm assuming the food, the cow doesn't disappoint.
Yeah. No.
Their ability to grill probably doesn't disappoint.
Yeah.
Barbecue, whatever. Yeah, I've never been to Dallas. I can't answer that question, honestly.
I'm sure
it's one of the few.
I'm sure it's great. Player that we want from their current roster.
Parsons.
So they've got 3 legit candidates. I think Parsons is probably number 1. CeeDee Lamb.
That wouldn't suck.
Is a legit number 1 wide receiver, so he's in the mix. And then Diggs is a legit number 1 corner. I think it's Parsons or Lamb.
Yeah. We're good. We're good with our corners.
You'd probably go.
We're good.
Yeah, Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb would be a wonderful addition to this football team, but I think Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
That would be.
I'm fine.
Add him to this defense. I would love that. All-time favorite Cowboy.
I mean, is it not the playmaker?
Deion played for too many teams, so I think it's got to be.
That's like because I was like, love Charles Haley.
I love the playmaker. I think of Charles Haley as a niner.
So do I.
Yeah. Same.
So that's and I was never just some giant Emmitt Smith fan, and I wasn't a Troy. Like Troy's a nice guy, fine. And same with Emmett. Like I didn't have anything against them all. Nate Newton was fun.
Nate Newton. Well, yeah, he was too much fun.
Well, I don't know who else.
I love Des Bryant at the peak of Des Bryant, but playmaker's the answer.
I mean, the playmaker. Who else on that defense?
From those teams?
Yeah.
Ken Norton Jr.
Yeah. But, like,
It's like Everson Walls on those
49er?
Teams. Yeah. Well, he was short-term 49er.
Like players went back and forth between Niners and Cowboys.
They were so
those
dominant.
were the two.
Yeah, those were the two teams.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going playmaker. Playoff team, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Biggest offseason addition was Cooks and Gilmore. And then Mozzie Smith, I don't know, I was thinking Keanu Benton. Benton's the guy that went to the Steelers. The Browns were interested in out of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Big fella. Mozzie Smith, big fella, Michigan. They went Michigan with their first 2 picks, the Cowboys did.
Okay, if you have to pick one, Gilmore or Cooks, which one? Which one helps them more?
I think their D was fine. I think you gotta score, and so I like Cooks.
Is it a make or break year for Dak Prescott?
It didn't sound like it from Jon Machota. It
No.
sounded like he's going to be fine, but there's pressure. It's a make or break year for Mike McCarthy.
Oh,
if they
yes.
If they are not a team of great consequence in the NFC, they've got real.
If you're one and done, if you get to the playoffs and go one and out, it's over.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. When we come back, we got mailbag questions.
Yes.
As well as you got a chance to call. You got a chance. So if you can handle it.
Paulus, hey, welcome in. Good news. Got a call screen, have your dump button ready, and all that fun stuff.
Maybe they've got to be ready to go. We'll see. Or we got a lot of mailbag stuff. Bobby's on it like always. So we'll be back with that right after this. Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, coming soon to Ohio. All right, welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, a sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, coming soon to Ohio. Time now for Mailbag Thursday, presented by Cross Country Mortgage, official partner of the Cleveland Browns. Gibbe, and we've got Shane on the phone. Let's get Shane, and then we'll get into that mailbag.
Well, I was going to say, if Paulus was screening, I wanted to give Paulus a chance.
We'll give him a chance.
You let us know when you're ready to begin this.
Yeah, we got Shane up and ready. So
he's ready.
Oh, all right.
Here we go.
Okay, Gibbe, don't
Paulus. Paulus, he's been all over the place today. He was sampling nachos, which I'll get to at some point.
Oh, they were fantastic.
What was in the nachos
Crab Rangoon nachos over at the Guardians game last night, Progressive Field. Loaded nachos. That's the little stand out in right field, right next to Heritage Park.
Mm-hmm.
It was unbelievable. It had queso on it. It had the Crab Rangoon. It had some just like a special little sauce with it as well.
I like it.
Like sweet and tangy all at the same time. Fantastic.
Nice.
Love it.
All right, good. I actually enjoyed that content quite a bit. So I
bet you did.
I'm having fun. I'm making fun of you on our text chain, but
But at the same time, you're kind of jealous.
That was the content that I came for.
Paulus, are you a green or are you a blue?
Am I a green or a blue? What?
Yeah. On the text chain.
I'm a blue all the way.
Yeah. So you're on a text chain with this green over here?
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, that Gibbs does not have a an Apple iPhone or anything along. My dad just got a new phone and he switched to an Apple. So Gibbs, you really don't have any other leg to stand on. Sorry.
Yeah, it soon's out.
It's okay. You keep it on down to me both.
Monaco's.
My dad went from a flip phone that he's had for 20 years.
I'd rather,
you know
what? I would give anything to go back to my flip phone.
That's awesome. Flip phone would be great.
I don't need all the other stuff.
Yeah, it's nice to have. All right, let's get to Shane. Shane, make us proud.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, before I ask my question, I want to say thanks for the many great hours of content, and extend my thanks to Bo as well. Sad he couldn't be there for you today, but I haven't done fantasy football in a number of years, and I'm really trying to get back into it.
Okay.
So I guess like any general tips you have, but the one question everyone always asks, do you know any sleeper? Because everyone always wants that late round sleeper.
Yeah.
Obviously, on the Browns would be great, but.
So
I know you're plugged in.
This is what I'd say. I'd say right now the guy on the Browns that is the most undervalued across the fantasy community right now is Deshaun Watson. He's going as quarterback 9-10. I just did a podcast for fantasypoints.com, and my next piece of advice to you is get a subscription to fantasypoints.com. Awesome content. They have a ton of stuff. I use them now because I'm not in the game like I was before, and I think they do a great job. It's run by the Guru. And Joe Dolan's on there. He's got an unbelievable team, and they put together great content. So I would certainly give fantasypoints.com a look. That's a real plug. I use them. That is who I use for my fantasy stuff, and they've been very, very good. They were all on Jalen Hurts last year, and Jalen Hurts carried a lot of people to their fantasy titles. So big fantasy points guy. So fantasypoints.com. Check them out.
You can tweet at the show at Browns_daily. Chris, and his handle is I'm Dat Chris. Chris, I saw your question from earlier this week. I brought it up to the guys yesterday. They both would like to respond to this on Monday about a Cleveland guys trip suggestion involving non-golfers. Don't worry.
Bo wants to be. We got you.
Yeah.
We got you.
But Bo was like, I'm putting together some stuff for this guy. Save that question. Yep. I will save that question.
Okay.
Bobby, what are your 3 favorite TV shows of all time?
Game of Thrones, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Monday Night Raw. Don't we have to consider that a TV show?
You can.
Monday Night Raw. Those would be my 3 favorite of all time.
Seinfeld, Sopranos.
Seinfeld over Curb?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, dude.
Come on.
Seinfeld, Sopranos, Rescue Me, Dennis Leary, firefighter show.
Do you think that's your top 3 shows of all time?
Yeah.
Really?
Entourage is right up there too. I know it's Bo's favorite too.
Entourage is a great show.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are my.
I think I could have gone for a billion guests before I got to Rescue Me.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite shows. Great job post 9/11, New York City Fire Department. It was comedy, but some serious stuff, and it's actually really good.
Wow.
And Dennis Leary's great.
Yeah, Dennis Leary is great.
Yeah. Jonathan tweets at the show, not really a mailbag question. Want to know if there's audio somewhere of the trial of Prisco. There is.
Yeah. Yes.
When was that?
That should be in our Hall of Fame.
Yeah. When was that?
I know. Both thought it was close to Pedro's, but I don't think that makes sense. I think it had to be after the 20 season, leading into maybe the 21
yes.
season.
I believe
I don't think
that's
it was,
the case.
I don't
and
think
it's
it was
in
leading
June because that's when this comes out every year.
Yeah.
I will find it. We've started to compile the best of moments. I'm working on a best of show.
Like from
best
years?
Of, best of. Yes.
Okay, dude. Okay. All right. Best of serious like football stuff that Hoff, where he was talking about his process.
Yes.
Fun and frivolity, Money Mitch interview. Your Wednesday night tape, the whole Wednesday night taped extravaganza. Dick Winters has got to be on there for sure. Interview with Snoop, Mr. Dog.
Yeah.
Maybe Des Bryant popping in, Suns out, guns out.
No, I just Stone Cold.
Stone Cold, yeah. We have like great interviews.
Well, but we've had some great moments.
The D-Day
on
interviews.
The show. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Love a dog today. Construct your perfect taco. Oof.
It's not hard.
Well,
it's not. The best taco I've ever had was in Puerto Vallarta. Pancho's Tacos, the real one. And it was just simply a corn tortilla, freshly sliced al pastor, little cilantro, little bit of onion, and then a salsa that was pineapple, fresh pineapple and fresh habanero. And that was it, and it was amazing. I got to give a shout out to Bar Taco Zone Sandusky for their Philly cheesesteak tacos. One of the coolest non-normal tacos I've ever had.
There you go. What form of public transportation do you prefer?
Trains.
Same. And I like subways, trains.
Subways.
I'm fine with subways.
There's no better system of public transportation than trains in Europe.
Oh, I would agree with that.
Like the Eurail is unbelievable.
Yeah, the high speed from London to Paris in 2 hours and 45 minutes.
That I've never done. That might scare the bullet trains.
Oh,
but
awesome.
Trains are awesome. Like when you get the beautiful countrysides and you're just going on a train, you got your dining cart. Trains are undefeated.
Would you rather drive or be the passenger in a car?
So in many ways, for a long period of my life, I was like Larry David, where I felt like I had no identity in the passenger seat of my own car. But I'll tell you what. So Miss K gets a little bit of motion sickness or car sickness, and so in my car, especially because it has so much kind of immediate torque and it can be, she likes to drive in it. And I used to at first I like to drive everywhere, but now it's great because she drives everywhere, so I always have like a driver, and she drives great. She's a great driver. I put her up there like she is one of the 3 best drivers I've ever been in a car with.
Really?
She's a great driver.
I
don't mind it.
I like driving. And it's funny now when my wife does drive, she's like, "Wait, where am I going again?" She was the queen. She's like, "I could do this like blindfolded." And she's like, and she likes it. She likes when I drive. She's like, I really like that when you drive.
Even when we go on road trips, she wants to drive. So I'm like, you want to drive for 5 straight hours? Fine.
Yeah.
I'll sit right here and be perfectly happy and content. All right, that was Mailbag Thursday.
We got a few more that we can go to tomorrow.
All right, yeah,
we got some to go to tomorrow. Pace yourself.
Pace yourself, everybody. Mailbag Thursday presented by Cross Country Mortgage, official partner of the Cleveland Browns. So much more to come on this Thursday here at Cleveland Browns Daily. All right, Gibby.
We're at a block party
tomorrow. Join us on location at the ESPN Cleveland Block Party live from the East Bank of the Flats.
What could go wrong?
Rain.
Fishman. Parking.
Rain.
He's a man of many things. He'll get it done.
Rain.
Or Wetzel, my former intern. Wetzel. Parking.
Hopefully, we'll love to see everybody out there tomorrow. I would make sure you have a little rain gear. It does call for rain tomorrow. So everybody stay safe out there. Bring an umbrella.
Paulus will be there. We'll talk nachos.
Oh, baby. So we all have that to look forward to. Got to give a big thank you to Jon Machota, Cowboys analyst for The Athletic, who joined us earlier today. It was great hearing from Joel Bitonio as well. Reminder, everything you need about training camps, clevelandbrowns.com, the Browns mobile app. Again, there will be 8 free practices open for fans. Tickets available to the public Thursday, July the 13th at 10 a.m. Eastern. Brown season ticket members can get tickets Tuesday, July the 11th. For Gibby, I'm Nathan Zegura saying thanks for listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. The next level is next here on 850 ESPN Cleveland.